Dhira Damodara Swami, Dhira Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajitacharya Stutra Sita Sisimad Divine Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Ananda Kuliveshna Benduki Namacharya Sila Harila Sakurati Prem Koshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakti Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopina Shamku Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadvi Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Ganges Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premananda. All glories assembled in peace. All glories assembled in peace. All glories assembled in peace. All glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Vishnu Padya Krishna Vata Vutala Yamati Vata Tuta Shanti. Om Gyana Timirandasya Jnana Salakayam Sakshur Nityanjena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manodisam Kapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Vitabhayakam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vijantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Pupisaya Takanchana Gurangi Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vishavasri Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Prabhupada Lamita Ki. proper elaborate introduction. On the home front, Abai sent copies of Back to Godhead to the President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, along with a letter warning him of the perilous fates that await a society conducted by the godless. Please, therefore, save them from the great fall down. He requested His Excellency at least to glance over the headlines of the enclosed copies of Back to Godhead and to consider granting the editor an interview. I am crying alone in the wilderness at the present moment, wrote Abai. His Excellency never replied. Even through the heat of the New Delhi summer, when the temperatures rose to 114 degrees, Abai continued to go out daily to sell his fortnightly publication. Once he suffered heat stroke and reeled in the streets until a friend picked him up in his car and took him to a doctor. Understand? Understand what happened? Yes. Proper suffered heat stroke and reeled in the street as he fell. The founder of the International Society Christian Consciousness fell down in the street due to sunstroke. No servant, no friends, no wife, no children, no money, no God. Is God here? Yes. Where? Where? Where is God here? Where is God here? That's one of my questions. Thank you. Krishna is always there. It's not time that is not there. It is we who are not there. So, to do something wonderful, one has to pay heavy price. Heavy price. Even for pure devotees, what was talk about ordinary people. A pure devotee can face these challenges. They are not suffering their karma. But Krishna sent them here to come and teach us what to do. And they will do it not like pretending. They're not pretending. They do it really. He fell in the street until a friend picked him up in his car and took him to a doctor. Another time he was gored by a cow and lay for some time unattended by the roadside. A cow knocked him down. That's a cow. Another time. The person has lost his wife, lost his children, lost his job, lost money, lost property, friends. For Krishna. Is it not? He's doing this for Krishna. And his son struck. Cow is kicking him down the streets. But he continued. Why he continued? Because he knows the end. He knows the end. Some people have difficulty because we don't know the end. But they know the end, therefore, nothing is not a difficulty for them, because he knows. At times like this, he sometimes wondered why he had left home and business, right? And why, since he was now surrendered to Krishna, everything had become so difficult. We are not beginning anything. It is already there. Even pure devotees, they have. Pure devotee doesn't mean it's a stone. A pure devotee has feeling. It's an entity, it's a person, it has feelings. So he feels that. The same thing we see when Sita Devi was lamenting. Sita Devi was lamenting. Why my Lord has not come till now? What have I done? Did not come till now. I'm here. Does he feel me at all? If he is feeling, what's the difficulty for him to come here? After all, the Hanuman jumped here. So, what is delaying? How long did it take Hanuman to jump? So, why didn't he jump also? Does he even need to jump? He can just appear here, that's all. Why is he not here? Why is it taking so long? Yes, all these are meditations. The difference is that a pure devotee is meditating on this, and that increases his faith. Others, their faith starts to dwindle. But years later, when his Krishna consciousness movement was established in many countries with many disciples, he would say, at the time I couldn't understand, but now I realize all those difficulties were assets. It was all Krishna's mercy. Yes. When we are facing the purificatory process, we feel as, is it going to be an end? We go like this with eternity. But nothing contains eternity in this material world. Everything in material world has some time. But when one is paying heavily, one feels, will it ever end? When will it be? Is it possible? This is a situation. Is it possible that one day I will breathe fresh air? I'll be free from the kick the material energy is giving. So Prabhupada was feeling the same. While keeping up his effort of printing and selling back to Godhead in Delhi, Abai decided to take up residence in Vrindavan, 80 miles south of New Delhi. Gaudiya Vaishnavas consider Vrindavan to be the most sacred spot in the universe because of Lord Krishna's childhood pastimes there. During his incarnation 5,000 years ago. The chief followers of Lord Chaitanya had gone to Vrindavan 500 years ago, written books, established temples, and located the places of Krishna's many pastimes in the forest, pastures, and along the river banks. Abayi's idea was to write his essays in the peaceful spiritual atmosphere of Vrindavan and continue to Delhi to distribute his literature and seek donations from respectable patrons. He took a simple, very inexpensive room in the Vamsi Gopalji temple, located on the bank of the Jamuna River. And there he entered the special quality of life in Vrindavan. Abai didn't see Vrindavan as an ordinary person. As a pure devotee of Krishna, he felt great bliss simply in walking down a dirt lane or in seeing the deity forms of Krishna, which appeared on every street in thousands of temples and homes. From his small rooftop room, he could see the Jamuna flowing before him and extending into a broad curving sheet of river that shimmered in the afternoon sun. In the evening, he enjoyed the cooling breeze from the Jamuna and heard devotees chanting their evening prayers at the Kesi Ghat. He would hear temple bells ringing throughout the town. And sometimes he would cease from his writing and walk into the busy areas, amidst the residents and pilgrim visitors. He heard the chanting of Hare Krishna everywhere, and many passers-by would greet him with the customary Jai Radhe, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
As Vrindavan was Krishna's abode, so Abai was Krishna's servant. In Vrindavan, he felt at home. Naturally, he continued to think of preaching. Hankering for others to know the intimate peace and ecstasy of Vrindavan. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was inviting all souls to join him in his eternal abode. Yet, even in India, few This was the abode of peace, yet no one knew anything about it. Nor were people interested, but this was what they were actually hankering for. Driven by the desire to broadcast the glories of eternal Vrindavan, Abai worked almost constantly in Vrindavan to produce each issue back to Godhead. Commuting, however, became difficult. He would take the morning train daily and, having nowhere to stay, return to Vrindavan the same night. That didn't give him much time in the city, and it was expensive. Sometimes a pious gentleman would give him a place to stay, but even with his minimal personal expenses, Abai had difficulty raising enough donations to cover traveling, printing, and mailing. After producing 12 consecutive fortnightly editions of Back to Godhead, Abai again ran out of money. The printer said he could not print simply out of friendship. Returning to Vrindavan, Abai continued writing, but with no plan for publication. One day, in a renounced and solitary mood, Abai composed a Bengali poem entitled Vrindavan Bhajan. Its opening stanzas were especially self-reflective and personal. I am sitting alone in Vrindavan Dham. In this mood, I am getting many realizations. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money. So, they are a fruitless glory. Krishna has shown me the naked form of material nature. By his strength, it has all become tasteless to me today. Jashaham anugri nami harishe tat dhanam sanai. I gradually take away all the wealth of those upon whom I am merciful. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It will not happen to you. Krishna selects people to do this, not that he don't do it to anybody. You. He selected people to do this. Persons whom he has favored, I want to take them back to Godhead. He will do this, but not those who wants to stay here. How was I able to understand this mercy of the All-Merciful? Everyone has abandoned me, seeing me penniless. Wife, relatives, friends, brothers, everyone. This is misery, but it gives me a laugh. I sit alone and laugh. In this Maya Samsara, whom do I really love? Where have my loving father and mother gone now? And where are all my elders who were my own folk? Who will give me news of them? Tell me who. All that is left of this family life is a list of names only. Where are the persons? One night Abai had a striking dream. The same dream he had several times before. During his days as a householder, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati appeared just as Abai had known him, the tall, scholarly sannyasi, coming directly from the spiritual world, from Krishna's personal entourage. He called to Abai and indicated that he should take sannyas. I jump. That he should follow. Repeatedly he called and motioned. He was asking Abai to take sannyas. Come, he urged. Become a sannyasi. Abai awoke in a state of wonder. He thought of this instruction as another future of the original instruction Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had given him at their first meeting in Calcutta. The same instruction that his spiritual master had later solidified in a letter, become an English preacher and spread Krishna consciousness throughout the Western world. Sannyas was for that end. Otherwise, why would his spiritual master have asked him to accept it? In the standard Vedic society and social system, a man is supposed to leave his family at 50 and become a renounced monk, a sannyasi, and thus dedicate his remaining days to chanting, hearing, and preaching the glories of the Lord. Abai reasoned that his spiritual master was saying, "Now take sannyas and you will actually be able to accomplish this mission." Formally, the time was not right. Abai deliberated cautiously. By accepting sannyas, a Vaishnava dedicates his body, mind, and world totally to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, renouncing all other engagements. Abai was already doing all those things, but he felt that by accepting the sannyas order, he could solidify his position and gain even more impetus for the great work that still lay ahead. The standard and the example set by the previous acharyas was that if one wanted to lead a preaching movement, sannyas was required. At first, Abai has resisted, but now he was reconsidered. He turned to a god brother, Keshava Maharaj in Mathura, who stressed that Abai take sannyas immediately. In later years, Prabhupada would recall, "I was sitting alone in Vrindavan writing. My god brother insisted to me, 'Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, you must do it. Without accepting the renounced order of life, nobody can become a preacher.' It was my spiritual master who insisted through this god brother. So, unwillingly, I accepted." Unwillingly, I accepted. After a formal sannyas ceremony in Vrindavan, Abai's name became Abhaya Charanara Binda Bhaktivedanta Swami. Yet, his basic problems remained. He wanted to preach Krishna consciousness, but few were willing to listen. Such things hadn't been changed with his becoming a sannyasi. One change took place, however. Bhaktivedanta Swami decided to write books. When a librarian advised him to write books, they were permanent, whereas newspapers were read once and thrown away. Bhaktivedanta Swami took it that he was speaking through this person. Then, an Indian army officer who lied back to Godhead suggested the same thing. In both cases, Bhaktivedanta Swami took the advice as a revelation from his spiritual master. Bhaktivedanta Swami considered Srimad Bhagavatam because it was the most important Vaishnava scripture. The essence of all Vedic knowledge, presented in a brief ABC fashion. Srimad Bhagavatam was elaborate. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada and Bhaktivedanta and Bhaktivinoda Thakura had both written Bengali commentaries on the Bhagavatam. In fact, most of the great Vaishnava acharyas of the past had commented on Srimad Bhagavatam. The spotless Vedic scripture. An English translation and commentary for this book will one day change the hearts of the entire world. And if Bhaktivedanta Swami could publish even a few books, his preaching would be enhanced. He could go abroad with confidence and not hear empty Bhaktivedanta Swami returned to Delhi with a new purpose. The paper and printing capital of India was in the Chandni Chowk section of Old Delhi, and Bhaktivedanta Swami thought it best to somehow locate himself there to regularly negotiate for printing books. Through an old printing contact, he met the temple owner who gave him a free room in his Radha Krishna temple near Chandni Chowk. The neighborhood was called Chipiwada, a congested, mixed Hindu-Muslim quarter. Now Bhaktivedanta Swami could work either in Vrindavan or Delhi. With a new enthusiasm, he picked up a few donations and began again publishing Back to Godhead, while at the same time beginning his translation and commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Chipiwada had been purchased and nicely renovated. Very nice. Really congested place. Congested with Muslims. Business. It's a business, it's a commercial area. Business. All things are sold. When you enter the temple, then you see the difference. When you enter any place, you look like Oshodi. When you enter the house, then you look like Vrindavan. The difference. Now it's beautiful. Nicely renovated. Prabhupada was planting all these seeds alone. He was planting all these seeds, and now the seeds have germinated and is producing fruits. It's beautiful. You went the last time during the wedding? Krishna Sakti did wedding there. Were they? You didn't come there? Okay. She did her wedding there, Krishna Sakti. I wish she did her wedding, Chipiwada temple.
Oh, okay. I was there.
Yeah. So, nice, sweet, simple place. You see proper activities there. Nice. So devotees are there preaching. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The Prabhupada. Comment? All right. No comment, no question. Srila Prabhupada.